6, a disturbing discovery by two Oklahoma City fathers. It reveals Oklahoma's sex offender registry does not keep track of all sex offenders. News 9's Adriana Ivashinsky has been investigating this. And Adriana, you discovered even with all of the crime tracker and sex offender registries out there, there are still some offenders who manage to slip through the cracks.
They do manage to slip through the cracks. Depending on when they were convicted, some sex offenders only have to register for a period of 10 years, and some don't have to register at all.
I'm not scared for me, I'm scared for my kid and my wife.
Brett Holt found out this morning that the man accused of exposing himself to his daughter at a weekend sleepover is back at home after bonding out of jail.
With him out there, there's no telling what could happen. Desperate men do desperate things.
67-year-old Jerry Glenn Elders is the man accused of the crime. He was arrested over the weekend and refused our request to comment. Court records show back in 1992, Elders was charged with multiple counts of lewd acts with a child, but pled guilty to a lesser charge. And as a result, he did not have to register as a sex offender, even though he lives across the street from this child care center.
We were shocked to hear that it was that close.
It's not surprising that there would be some sex offenders that don't want to fall under that kind of scrutiny.
Jerry Massey is with the Department of Corrections and says the sex offender registration statute in Oklahoma has changed several times since it was created in 1989.
There's limits on how close they can live to schools, daycare centers, where they can work.
But he admits it has its limitations.
There are certain crimes that are listed in the Sex Offender Registration Act that requires registration. If they are convicted of something other than one of those crimes, then the Sex Offender Registration Act does not apply to them.
And it appears that is what happened with Elders' 1993 conviction.
A lot of crimes are filed a certain way, and then during the plea negotiations or whatever, they're reduced to something else. And in this case, it looks like they reduced it to outraging public decency.
And here's another shocking discovery. Even though the Oklahoma Department of Corrections has an online database of offenders on their sex and violent crime offender registry, there are more than 780 convicted sex offenders who have failed to register. These are pictures of just a few of the more serious offenders across the state that the Department of Corrections has no record of where they are. That infuriates this Oklahoma dad.
We need tougher legislation to do something about this.
And Brett says he will do something about it and plans to meet with local lawmakers, not just to protect his child, but all the other children out there.
This is absolutely outrageous that there are no laws to protect our kids.
Now, right now, both repeat and violent sex offenders are required to register for life. And if they fail to do so and are caught, they face serious consequences. But the sad truth is, those sex offender registries only go so far. Jennifer?